Hey, how's it going? Just finished stripping the bark off of this. Just going to try Finial, but this knotted area here is going to make it interesting because it goes all the way around. Yeah, that's going to be fun. I've been trying to reshape my skew with the true grind system. I've got the instructions to do it properly, so trying to learn how to do it on that instead of freehand sharpening on the belt sander, because that's not doing me any favors. Meanwhile, half an inch of steel's somehow missing from my skew now. I don't know where it went. I hate sharpening, really. Did I say I hate sharpening? Yeah, no, I do. I really do. I know it's going to be done, and I will learn it. With all my own eyes, and I will learn it eventually. Bloody borders are open again now because our stupid our restrictions. I think we had the world's quickest on-off restrictions. I think we lasted like 2 days or so. Idiot governments. No, glasses would be good. It's good to be able to see what you're doing. No, they're not there. Okay. Need glasses to find my glasses. This is just the under the little tiny, I don't know, like a thin bit of bark that's underneath the bark. See that fly off every now and then. Spring, pretty much. There's only a little bit of bark there I couldn't really get off, so. Yeah. So it's just the stringy stuff underneath. Nothing too bad. I just want to try and knock down this knot a little bit. Sitting there in the background. How you going?
Good. How are you?
Yeah, alright. I'm alright. Oh, look out, trouble's here. Oh, he left. He must have thought I was talking about him. How you going?
It's alright.
Oh, he's back. Guess who's back? How you going?
Yeah.
Did you hit the
Well,
wrong button?
I had a hiccup here.
Oh, did you?
I wanted it to be full screen instead of half screen, and I forgot to set the settings for that.
What's that rabbit eating now?
I'm
Junk
just
food?
finishing off my lunch. No,
Grazing.
no. Actually, it was the end of a bit of meat.
Kangaroo.
No, not kangaroo.
That's what they think straight away, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, it was crocodile.
That I've had.
Oh, I haven't. You're lucky.
I've had it, but I've never had alligator.
Alligators are very white meat, actually.
Yeah. I was down in Louisiana probably 20 years ago on a project, and about 30 years ago, and I got taken to a restaurant that had nothing but pure southern food from Louisiana South, and it had crocodile in part of it, and a couple of snakes, and some really good fish.
How you going, Robert?
All right. Hey, g'day, Robert. How are you?
Coffee. Huh?
There's getting too many Robs on this channel, I tell you.
That's why you're Robbo and he's Bob.
I know.
Yep, I'm Bob. Where's the grandkids? They're jokingly, well, it's spelled B-O-B. Isn't that boob?
Bloody
said,
well,
you leave. It's not a long O in the middle.
No.
And that led to, and they were young. I mean, preschool, and that led to a whole thing about how letters can be a long and a short sound. And that became a game. So it was Uncle Booby. Adults would laugh at it, but they didn't know. They didn't understand the joke.
Well, a booby out there is a dill. Drop your tool rest down, Jay.
So I'm just trying to. This whole section here is just knotted, so I'm just trying to knock it down a little bit. And if you see like stringy bits like this come off, it's just the thin underlining under the bark, which I've peeled off already. So it's not bark.
Oh, that's good, Robert. Selling your first bowl. You can drop the tool rest right down, Jay.
Nice work. Hopefully they're a repeat customer. That's what you want. Did you tell them to tell their friends? Yeah. Are you doing what you're doing so I can do what I'm doing? Bloody backseat driver over here. Hey, did you see what I put in about the me not being able to cut a leaf, Bob? Dr. Bob?
Yeah.
Is that going to be a problem?
Oh no, no. All they're doing is they're going to be playing video that we have of the turner making them, and then he's going to stop in and actually look at people as they're doing it because he's going to be a online guest.
Yeah. No, I watched that last night.
Good day, Blair. Now, hold on.
How you going, Blair? What?
No, it's all right. I just thinking to myself out loud. That's all.
Uh-oh.
And talking to myself.
Uh-oh, yeah. Got evidence for Julie now.
Blair wants to know what time it starts, Bob.
Oh, yeah, I see that. Let me get that sent out to him.
I won't be there, unfortunately.
Oh, I understand that because of the time of day.
Yeah.
What was that?
I said I won't be there, unfortunately, because I'll be asleep.
Where?
At the leaf turning doohickey jigger. I did watch the video.
Oh, yeah, you got to get your nana nap, your rest for the next day, don't you?
Bloody oath.
Okay, you got it, Blair.
Sorry?
He's got it. It's all right. Bob was just talking to Blair.
Okay.
Haven't you worked out yet, Jay, that you're the only reason we all get together? It's not about you.
Yeah. No, I've gathered that. When you don't come in, no one else does. I've figured that bit out.
Well, it's a new form. It's social turning with an expert. Because almost every other site, that YouTube video of producers, they're there to teach something and impress people for what they know. And no insult meant, that's not you. You're you, and it's a conversation with the people around while you're turning.
Yeah, I'm just here to give people shit. That's all I'm here for.
It's a whole new program, content type.
What channel am I on in America?
More people watch YouTube today than they do broadcast television. That's making the TV market and the advertisers really skitty about it.
And that's why I keep putting bloody more and more ads into YouTubes too.
Well, I just pay the extra, what is it, $10 or $5 a month, and I don't have to pay for it. I get the YouTube Prime. No commercials, no ad, nothing.
Yeah, I use an ad blocker. I don't get any commercials in them.
I've just got premium YouTube. I don't get any adverts either.
Yeah, that's what I have. I like it.
If Soren comes in today, Robbo, ask him if he wants a link.
Yeah, no worries.
Another Blair, you're still in bed early tonight? You don't want to come stick your head in?
No, actually, Robert, I'll answer for Jay. He's actually trying to get the skew to the right shape.
Thanks, Robert. Thanks for dobbing me in. I remembered. Do you see I picked a really convenient day to reshape the tool?
I thought about it after I told you this morning.
I was inside talking to Amber before at lunch, and I said, you know, Dark and Robbo, they want me to use the skew tomorrow and the skew only. And guess what I've gone and done? Started reshaping it.
And there's multiple shapes. What did you pick?
Oh, he had more facets. He had more facets on it than a Hope Diamond.
Oh, okay.
I could have got a fortune for it, but he wanted me to take them all off, you know?
Why? They're just an accident.
Come on.
It's just an accident waiting to happen.
That's good.
Sorry?
It's an accident waiting to happen.
Yeah, that's me. Huh? Yeah. Yeah. That's my middle name. Accident waiting to happen. Can't you tell?
Now, Robert, I'll answer that one. So is the current skew shape straight across or straight for half and then a curve? Depends on what you're doing. I prefer straight across for the simple reason I use my skew for a lot of marking out, same as all production turners do. And if you have a curve in it, you cannot see the long point easily. You've got to sort of lean over the top of it to see where it's going. So that's the reason I prefer a straight grind. But they all work as well as one another.
So I don't know if you can see that very well, Robbo, but that's another coat on that yellow. That's had 3 coats now.
Yeah, it's got more of a mustard colour, hasn't it, rather than a yellow?
Yes.
Yeah.
Alright, talk amongst yourselves. I'm going to just do some gluing.
The only skew shape that I really, really hate is the one from Ally Avocera, where it's got a convex bevel on it, because it's got no bevel support at all. That's my opinion anyway.
No, I agree with you. But I've got both sides. I've got both straight, diagonal, and then I've also got 2 of them that are curved.
Yeah.
But one of them is a lesser curve than the other.
Yeah, well, that's like the Richard Raffin curve actually starts right from the long point down to the short. Now, the American bloke, I'm trying to think what his name is now. He's got 1/4 of an inch or 1/3 of the chisel that's straight at the top, which I must admit is very, very handy if you're doing tenons. But I use a straight across chisel for that. It hasn't got any skew angle at all. It's just straight across.
Yeah, I've got the partial curve at the top. I mean the side, the top's flat. And then I got one that's a diagonal.
I can't think of the chap's name at the moment. Alan Lacer, that's it, Robert, yeah. But I think it's what you get used to more than anything else. Like I can't use a skew chisel that's ground on a flat grinder. I've got to, I hate oval skews. and
Yeah.
I can't use a flat bevel because I've got no feel where it rocks over the heel of the bevel. So it's either in or out, and it just annoys me.
Well, over the years of going to tool sales and auctions and having friends that are turners pass away and they say, okay, pick what you want. I've got skews that anywhere from an inch to 3.5 inches wide over the years. So I've even got a 4-incher, but I don't like that one.
Yeah. Hey, that one actually looks sharp, Jay. You can use that one.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. It's got a decent bevel on this one. Shh. Don't tell Roy.
Too late. I've seen it.
Yeah,
You
that's
have a-
my idle one.
You got a diamond or CBN hone for them?
No. No, I've got a belt sander and a bench grinder.
Yeah, he's been sharpening the skews on the bench the bench on the sander.
Belt sander, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
being the Sorby style of sharpening.
Yeah.
Shit style, I think. Sorry,
But
Bob. I mean,
it's
No,
it's a flat grind.
yeah, it's a flat grind, and that's part of why you're having troubles with it. But
yeah.
we'll sort that out.
I wish we had Star Trek's transporter. I'd send you a bunch of tools.
It'd say to you, you'd go to press send, and we go, too heavy. Take something out. Still too heavy. Take something out. You know, like those mean scales that talk to you. When you jump on them, it says one at a time, please.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Yeah, tell the other two to get off.
Yeah, that's right. Just take one of your legs off.
Yeah, the widest skew that I have is 2 inches. The inch one is my favorite. The inch one is my favourite one, though. You started out good, Jay, by moving your hips, and then you bloody well stopped.
Yeah, I get a bit nervous when I get close to the end.
No, well, that's where you really should be moving your body with it, because you can lock it. Although with that tailstock, it's very hard to get down thin.
Yeah.
That's one nice thing about living in a big city. We've got a couple of stores that you can walk in and buy about 40% of what you want to buy for tools for turning.
Yeah.
From Sorby and you name it. And if they don't have it in stock today, you can buy it and they'll ship it free from one of the other stores. It's called Woodcraft. I used to demo for them.
What?
I wouldn't go much thinner down that NJ yet.
No, I'm not.
Otherwise, you might have it wrapped around your head.
I haven't tried a wrap around Finial yet. What are they like?
Trust me, they can do some damage.
Have you seen this?
And Dr. Bob Robert reckons you need to get on to inventing a matter movement machine.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be good.
There was, in the 40s, a movie made about that. And it was one of the black and white movies as a little kid. I mean, a preteen. That fascinated me to no end. And it's on YouTube. It's called The Four-Sided Triangle. And by today's standards, it's really hokey. But it had a good moral to it. But a lot of the stuff that they were talking about in the movie was being developed by two companies, one in Europe and one in the US after the war. And one was actually had been developed in Germany, considered top secret by them. And within like a year of it being brought over, they don't know who did it, but that was included in the movie. It was a big scandal at the time.
Well, that's what the Philadelphia experiment was all about, wasn't it?
Yeah. And the question is, did it really happen? I know people that swear to it. They're all passed away now, but when I was younger in the military, said yes, it did.
Yeah.
Which is spooky.
Good day, Lewis.
Good you popped in. What are you playing, poker?
Use your long point, Jay, not the short point. Whenever you're making a cut.
Yeah, that was. Because I haven't shaped it properly yet.
Bloody hard to tell.
You didn't see that, Tom? No one's seen that, did they? That's good. That's what I like to hear. Right with it.
You should be working, Lewis, not playing bloody cards. God, I'm glad I'm not your boss, I tell you.
I think he thinks the same thing, to be honest.
G'day, Justin. They're coming out of the woodwork.
Yeah. It's a show about wood.
Do you want a link to come into the voice, Justin?
Yeah, you could be right there, Robert. He could be taking everybody's money. No, not today, Jay, Justin says. Now, Jay, just back off on the bevel a little bit, all right?
Yeah.
I can tell by the way the wood's looking behind it. You're pressing that too hard.
So have you been turning anything in your shop?
Sorry, what was that, Bob?
Have you been doing any turning in your shop today for fun or?
Yeah, I'm working out working out what I'm doing tomorrow for the craft fest. Working out what I'm doing tomorrow for my thing on the crafts, the
Did you
virtual
see
crafts
that?
festival. Yes, I did, and I
It
knew it was going
split.
to happen.
It split.
Yep.
That's why I tried to move away from that point because it was just brittle as hell.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't have gone down that thin on that end.
Yeah.
Cut it off and remount it.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Just looking for my saw.
What time is your chunk tomorrow, Robo?
It's 10 o'clock tomorrow morning here. I think it's 3 o'clock in the morning for you.
Yeah.
So you have to get up for it, okay?
Yeah, if you have a look on my homepage, I've actually put the thing up there, and I'll be putting the link to my live in there as well. And then generally what happens, people put the next link in their live so that they can go straight to the next one from there.
Yep, that can be done.
Yep. That's what the earwigs are there for.
Yeah, I got that hint. Don't you worry.
I thought it was pretty subtle, actually, Joe.
You? Do you know what
Yeah.
the word means?
I've been told I've been as subtle as a light switch.
Yeah, on off. Yep.
Or as subtle as a sledgehammer.
Yeah, that's more appropriate.
Yes, it is. It runs continuously, Justin. It starts at 10 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Sorry. Yeah, 10 o'clock tomorrow afternoon in England, which is still there Saturday. And then it runs through until 2 o'clock in the morning on 14 hours it runs for. And it's not necessarily all turning. There's quite a few of other things. There's carvers and last time they had, I think, a pottery person as well. And it's basically all crafts. Right, now don't go fiddling with the end of it, Joe. Just,
I'll put a link in there if you want in the chat. Yeah?
Yeah, that'd be handy. Now, just back off on the bevel there. You're pushing too hard. See how the wood's getting really shiny there?
Yeah.
What you're doing is crushing the fibres behind the cut. And that's why it's bouncing whenever it hits anything hard.
Like the knot that's there.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a couple doing scroll saw work as well, Robert, that's right. Right, the first one is Jamie Page. He's at 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And then I'm second at 10 o'clock. That's our time, by the way. Melbourne time. Then everybody has an hour thingo, and they just run onto each other. And generally the one, like I'll be watching Jamie, and I'll leave his live at about, when he's got about 8 or 10 minutes to go, so that as soon as he's finished, I come on with my own link. Everybody has their own link. The last couple have been fantastic.
I could see where if you had someone to coordinate it, you could do it for a whole weekend.
Yeah, they've just worked out this way. And then the one that Jay likes the best is the thingo from Greece, isn't it, Jay, where he sets fire to everything and sets fire to paint.
Yeah, like the guy that burns and paints his laptop. Yeah.
Aristes or whatever his name is.
Costas,
that's it.
Yeah. Anyone that's willing to sacrifice a laptop for a live, yeah, I'll watch him again.
Yeah,
there you go, folks.
Was it a working one?
Oh,
Yeah, he was using it.
He was using it for the live. Then he spray painted it. It was white. Then he spray painted it white a little. Red a little bit, and then green, and then yellow. And everyone going, oh, look, you're painting your laptop. And he's like, it's all right. It's just a keyboard that comes off the tablet. And then he actually set fire to the piece of wood, like quickly hit it with setting a lighter to the spray can, like that. And the flame went all over the keyboard as well. It's like he's having a cremated paint party. So can you see that link in the chat? And is it maybe I got to click on it?
Yeah, I don't know whether it's clickable or not.
Justin, or whoever's in the YouTube chat, do you want to try that link out for me, please?
Yeah, it'll work in the YouTube. I'm in the StreamYard one.
Yeah, that should be the same, but it might be different.
I just did.
Yep. Awesome, thank you.
Yeah, YouTube's a clickable link. In the StreamYard, you've got to copy it and paste it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure what time. I don't know exactly where you are in America, Robert.
Well, that time difference link that I sent you, Robbo, yesterday.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Just type it in there when and Robert tells you where he's from.
Yeah.
Get a better idea.
So the proverbial question is, what's the temperature out down there?
At the moment, wait on, I'll tell you. My thermometer's out in the workshop at the moment. Actually, we're sitting on 23 degrees at the moment, which is very pleasant. But we've got rain coming.
We've got 36 in the shed, and I'll see if she has a hiccup today, all right? What's the humidity in Adelaide today?
Looks like there will be 21% humidity today in Adelaide, South Australia.
I like the accents.
Yeah, you can play around with that. You can play around with the speed to get the right accent. I don't think I've got it dead on, but it's closer than what it was.
Yeah, I'll be at. I think they put the times in as Pacific, PST, if I remember rightly, from America.
Yeah, PST, Pacific Standard.
Yeah. No. No, we're 11 hours ahead, so it's 10 o'clock. It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
No, it's not. It's 1:45 in the afternoon. What are you on about?
Yeah, no. I'll tell you what.
What?
I'll slap you, boy.
Oh, the borders are open. Put your money where your mouth is. No?
Interesting if it says that it's BST. That's at one time it was British Standard Time, but I thought that stopped being called that anymore. But the nickname is Zulu Time.
Yeah.
But that's just us old ham radio operators use that in military.
There you go, all done. See you later.
British Summer Time. Okay, but that's still Zulu time, and then that's where the time starts. Yeah, calculating time across time zones, that I found interesting because of the way that the time zones are in the Pacific Ocean. They go
Yeah.
around islands sometimes. They're not straight lines.
No, that's right.
The only time they are is at the poles. The farther south you go, the closer the time zones, or north. I remember during the pipeline in Alaska, I was up at Prudhoe Bay, which is about as far as you could go north in North America at the time, and they had a hotel or motel type thing that was put up there for the pipeline workers' families to come stay in when they wanted to come visit. People sometimes are weird. They want to go to the Arctic for a vacation. In the summer, it's fine, but in the winter, no. But they had, to the city of Nome, they had lines painted that came from one of the city areas at the outskirts, and that was the time zones. And there were this motel that they had, a hotel, actually had a time zone go through the hotel. And they used to have a lot of fun. If you're on that side of the bed, you're an hour different than this side of the bed. And people paid to be in those rooms so they could take pictures and show it, because they actually had it lined out in the carpet, and it was not just paint, it was laid in the carpets, and it was a tourist attraction, the fact that you could walk between 4 time zones.
Gee, it's just as well as you didn't take a lady of the night to bed. She'd start on one side and charge an hour extra by rolling over in bed.
Awesome.
Never thought of that. They went so far as to have 2 different clocks, one on each side, set for the time zone on the bedstand. It was a tourist trap from, you name it, it was there. And the argument was it wasn't the real line, because you could get a sextant out and check it, but it was good enough to be there for the tourists. And that's where 3 time zones actually were walkable. We're so far north.
Better out than in.
Jesus. I better do some changes, I think. Because I thought it was 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. It's not. It's bloody 9 o'clock tonight.
Whoa. Wait, what? I hate times. Why don't they just get rid of time?
Yeah. Yeah, no. You're right. You're right, Justin.
What?
Well, Justin said it starts at 8 o'clock tonight for Australia.
Yeah.
Which is right. Yes, he's right. Dead right. So
See, you better
ours
go.
is, yeah, mine is at 9 o'clock tonight. Jesus.
Yeah.
I haven't got another 20. I haven't got 24 hours. No, it's all right. Yeah, that's right, Justin. You could turn the other way and get a refund. Or you could start before you finish.
Bloody Aussies, I don't know. So, I'm going to do something that's going to shock mostly some people. Do you like the colour of the wood? Does it look nice?
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, what was that?
Do the patterns in the wood look nice?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, if you like them so much, take a photo, because it ain't going to be like that for long.
I thought they were meant to fly.
And if you don't want it, well, I'm going to do it, then you have to buy it off me, right? That's the only way I'll be changing my mind.
But the one time zone I thought really curious and funny that I had to experience, they classified it as AA time because they were, well, they claimed to be at the South Pole, but the South Pole keeps moving like the North does, but not as much. But for Antarctica, having the big research center at the South Pole, they actually have a barber pole set up, and it's basically so they can take pictures and send home. But it's kind of funny because it's got a clock face on it, and it's set at Greenwich Mean Time is noon, and then you can walk a full 24-hour day around it, or jump from morning to night across the pole. It's just a quirk of being stationed down there.
Yes.
But it's a big research center that's shared, and then about, I think it's like 100 clicks away is the Russian one, where they drilled through the ice to the freshwater lake, even though it's been a no-no and agreed upon all over the world to not contaminate it. But there's some beautiful pictures, stuff that has never been seen before, living under the South Pole.
Yeah, it would be interesting. And that would have been interesting, Robbo. You getting a message? That would have been interesting. You getting a message from Jamie. Where are you, Robbo? Aren't you going to be on?
Yes, yeah. I've just altered the scheduling and everything on the StreamYard. That's where I've been. God. Thanks, Justin.
All right, Brussels sprout. Just about earned himself an earwig spot, I think, for that.
Yeah, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know about the pole. It's been since 75, for, well, not quite 3 days. They went in with a flight that brought supplies in and came back out. And we laid over in Australia overnight, and then it was a long flight. It took all of 2.5, 3 days to fly from Pole to, not quite Pole, but back up to Fairbanks.
Actually, I think I read somewhere that it actually traces an ellipse rather than a figure of 8.
I think you're right, because the axis of the Earth is a wobble.
That's right.
But there was a find in Australia, and I'm not sure where and when, but I heard a lecture on it years ago by I forget his degree. He studied the magnetosphere and the pole and the magnetic flux that causes it and how. But he was saying that the pole has flipped from north to south a couple of times. They've got proof of it. And, the question, how do you know that the Earth's poles have switched? And the answer was rocks in Australia. There are some places there when you take a magnetometer to the rock, it'll actually flip around from north to south or south to north on the rock, and it'll be the opposite way it should be. And the rock is, I forget how many eons old. and it's
I have
big chunks
actually
of
read.
it there.
I have actually read about that somewhere, but I can't remember where or anything.
And the ore is magnetite, and that's where they supposedly got the rock from. The name of the rock, or they named it, is because once it's magnetized, you can't demagnetize it, and the Earth itself, natural pole, won't touch it. That's why the stuff is that way, because the pole at one time was the landmass that Australia was once very close to the pole. And of course, the land masses have moved around. You're technically an island in that sense because that landmass moves. You want colors picked?
Yeah, 6.
Why don't you start with the bright colors? That would, I think, would complement the bright colors first.
Oh, it's too dark.
Now, why can't you use a skew like that?
Underneath the wood.
No, so even and neat.
I told you I'm more of a drawer.
A drawer?
Yeah. What did you say, Amber? You little shit. Bloody rap out again, yeah.
I would think the poles are on an ellipse because the Earth's orbit, when it goes around the sun, actually the poles shift back and forth. The Earth tilts as it goes around. My brother-in-law is an astrophysicist, and you talk about that, and it's really fun to hear all these things.
Yeah, look what your glasses on.
Oh, okay, fell off my head. I didn't even notice.
They came out too close to each other, didn't they? That's annoying.
Yeah.
I fixed it.
If they're felt tips, don't push too hard. You'll burn the tip. Then you won't get anything out of it. Don't ask me how I know.
I roll the texture across the tool rest so that you get a fresh point every time it touches the wood, otherwise it just dries out too quick.
Yeah.
Oh, that's one way to keep your shirt off.
don't want this shirt on.
You better inform Sid, Robbo.
Yeah, that's basically what I'm doing now.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
Coffee's ready.
Thank you.
Yes.
Something I think we as a global society online need to do is come up with, when we set up calendars, actually, in this sense, make it like a chart with 24 slots in it. And each of them are the different time zones that we have, and that the easier to make a decision as to what it is. You could look at it very quick and know what time it is in your part of the world. Because that's something we're not good at yet. Because it's new to us. We learned it in school, but who would ever thought we'd have a global society like this, where it's nothing to pick up a cell phone and talk to somebody anywhere in the world and forget about what time it is there. Because we're kind of limited to the time that we have reference to in our local community or our country. And you know, they say when they do TV ads here, they tell you it's Central or Pacific time. And if you're out in the Pacific time, they'll tell you if it's Hawaiian.
Yep.
Wait, DM. With a mighty crash, this line what you do better like that. But you're a fighter. You don't have.
But it's interesting, when I get up in the morning, one of the first things that pop up on my YouTube selection is some of the American news media I followed, but also your BBC. And I can watch your morning news online from your BBC.
But it's better though.
And also ABC, I get the Australian broadcasting news too.
So we were checking some more out soon.
Yeah, that made it pop a bit.
You don't know it. You don't know if you want it.
You guys know of any Turners or programs or clubs that's in New Zealand? I mean, they're a neighbor.
Yes, I do.
Is it an active sport
She's trying to put that
or hobby?
for Sony Spider-Man. Yeah, Amber Heard. She's the one who beat Johnny Depp. Amber Heard is the. Don't make me start hating you too, because I really don't want to. The entire internet and Marvel.
Because I've looked and searched and used some keywords to come up and see if I could find any. And I can't find any YouTube videos.
Yeah, actually, there's quite a couple of very strong clubs in New Zealand.
Yeah, evidence, way more evidence. But she said she was holding me. She also had tons of connections to the judge. That should have gotten the judge.
But do they do YouTube videos? I would assume so.
No, not a lot.
It's not a big thing in New Zealand, YouTube?
I have no idea. But the South Auckland woodturners are very predominant in New Zealand.
Well, if you know any of them, get a hold of them and see if we can't get them included in some of these programs like you're going to be in, or just come in and chat like this with the group for a day, one night or something to see. They can extend outwards.
No, we don't want to do that, Bob. You can't understand them.
Too much of an accent?
Very much so. Particularly the proper New Zealanders. Yeah, as Justin said, look for Melissa Engler or Graham Priddle. And I think Terry Scott's another one too, as well. I know Graham and Terry. In fact, I know quite a few of the New Zealanders.
Man, buddy. You don't have to go to heaven or hell. You get to go to the special realm.
Right now.
You know, Gabe, it's the special realm. Every little Y is deep red at 6 8. At 6 p.m. you have to serve your one to use the hub.
Thanks, Jay.
What?
Thank you.
Why?
Oh, no, he got it wrong.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you got to let me say that, at least.
Yeah, that's right. Okay.
That's why I got in before you. Cheeky bugger.
Yeah, I'm working through things.
Yeah, I'm just helping you.
No worries.
I am not there. I am not one of the boys.
Amber,
I shall never forsake.
leave it for now. Yeah.
The U.S. Army wants to
Right
create
now.
biodegradable bullets that
Let me know.
Yep. So anyway, you see that video when the shark attack?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So you know what he got, right? The old cracker? Yeah. And this old cracker. And he also, he's a drill sergeant, actually. Yeah, roll up here. Like, anyways.
I don't think that come up too bad, actually.
The shark, the highest.
Sorry, what was that?
Of
I said I don't think that come up too bad, actually.
I'll have a look in a second. I'm busy. Yeah, that looks okay.
Sergeant Major of the Army. That is for the enlistment of the Army. There's a new
Had about 3 or 4 coats of lacquer.
Actually, training. And they get to do a live stream of the show.
So what are you going to do with the rest of the piece?
You're the drill sergeant who doesn't want to leave his job.
Hello?
Enlistment, and he's a
Sorry.
drill sergeant. Doesn't say anything.
It's alright, don't worry about it.
He calls him over. The private's like, he's
How you
like,
going, Sid? I will try some texture on the outside, eh? See what that
this
does.
is where I thought it'd be harder. And he's like, wait, you want it harder? He's like, gives him like 3, he says he does it 3 times a question. The guy's just like, sir, this is honestly kind of easy. Hey, I swear, I was told it was going to be harder.
Right.
This could be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know whether Graham did or not, actually. He's a hell of a nice bloke, I know that. Just talks funny, that's all.
Gonna cut it off and start another one.
Now, he actually has a bit of an excuse, Jay, Justin at least, that his skew's all over at the place at the moment. We're trying to get it right. It's got more facets than the Hope Diamond. So he's got an excuse at the moment.
I think doing it on a belt sander, if it's got a good platinum, should help.
Yeah, no, it's, and I hope Jay doesn't mind me saying this, he doesn't quite know what the correct angles are on it. That's the problem.
Oh,
And I'm not there to show him.
well, there's a potential solution to it, because I've seen it done, is make him a block of wood at the angle it's supposed to be, that he can use as an example to when he sits it on there, to get used to the angle, because just like his belt sander is horizontal.
Yeah, part of the problem is Jay's hands too. He tends to rock from side to side on the platen as well, instead of just keeping it in a single plane.
Well, I had a friend have that as a problem, and what I had him do is take a new Sharpie and then put it in one place and not move it. And we did that by drilling a hole in a piece of wood, and putting it across the sander. And then he put this Sharpie in there, and it put a straight line on the sandpaper.
Yeah,
That kept him from going side to side.
Yeah, no, it's not that. Jay twists the handle, so he sharpens the long point and the short point, and gets a rocking motion across the sanding belt.
I can see that happening so easy.
Yeah, well, that's right.
There's only so much I can watch a video before I need someone here to show me how to do it.
That's dead right. That's dead right, actually, Jay. And until the angle is dead right to start off with, you've got no bevel to guide you. That's the other problem.
Yeah.
I'm an old-fashioned boy. I like my grinding wheels.
Yeah, so do I.
Let's say if we had a Doctor Who TARDIS, I'd put a grinder I got sitting on the bench collecting dust in it and ship it to him.
All right. I'm afraid I'd better go and do some work, because I'm going to be in deep doo-doo otherwise.
Yes.
So.
All right. Thanks for coming in.
No worries. I'll send the link through about 8:30 tonight, Jay. All right.
Yeah. No worries.
Okay. Yeah, that might help, Sid, if we can't get it right. Sid said that he can take the Sorby up in a couple of weeks and set the angles, if that will help. So that you've got a guide of what it should look like, all right?
The borders are open, Robbo. What's your problem? Come on.
Sorry?
I said the borders are open. What's your problem? Come on.
Well, I'm going to be in Sydney next week.
Got the wedding.
Yeah.
They have to open the borders first.
Yeah, I know. All right. It's supposed to happen Tuesday, so I'll soon find out, I suppose.
Yeah.
All right.
Great.
Catch you later. Catch you later, everybody.
Bye.
Break a leg. So, Jay, has your better half done any more pyography lately?
Today she was just touching up a piece that she did previously, because she's made a couple of tiger faces and then gone back and shaded them a bit more, and she's got a bit more experience.
Does she later fill them in with color, or just leave it as pyography on good wood?
No, she prefers to just leave them as the pyography, but sometimes I ask for something in colour.
Oh, yeah. That's good. That's great. That's how you feel when you're mad?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah. Got to have the colours to make it animated a bit, you know?
Yep. You'd call that a puka.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. A puka is an imaginary figure that only one person can see, and it's kind of, they can fight in them. And
Okay.
actually, the Broadway show and the book Harvey is about a puka, and it's a hilarious comedy. But that's what a puka is an imaginary person. A lot of kids have pukas.
Yes. I don't need them. I've got lots. My house has got lots of ghosts. I just talk to them.
Male or female?
Male. And one of our dogs. And maybe one of our cats too. I feel it brush up against my leg every now and then, but there's nothing there.
Oh, I believe in the spiritual world, but I don't believe in these people that can look in a crystal ball and bring people back and you can talk to them.
Nah. No, like, we had a brown Doberman, a red Doberman they're called, the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And he passed away about 5 years ago. and I seen him 2 days ago out of my peripheral vision, standing outside my shed, and we got another dog, and he's like, we'll be lucky if he lasts in the next 2 or 3 days because he's not doing too well at the moment. So I assume that's why the other dog's here to collect him.
Yeah. Yeah.
And like
Well,
the day that the Doberman was put to sleep, a couple of hours before, a light that never flickers in our house started flickering and then popped.
yeah.
So someone was there to pick him up, that's for sure. I've seen a full silhouette in the corner, out of my peripheral vision as well, in our hallway. Just like you can see the head, the side of the head, the shoulders, the waist, and the legs, but just like a line kind of thing.
I've had that too, but it's only in peripheral vision.
Yeah. Yeah. The fourth dimension.
What got me involved in it is I had a great aunt that her name was Minnie, and she was like 91, but when you're 10 years old, they're like ancient.
Yep.
But she was, when I was a baby and my mother was busy working, she raised me and took care of me and all that type of stuff, and become very attached. And later on, as I got older, as 7, 8, 9 years old, we used to go to her house and help her garden. And she had an old well in the yard that had a hand pump on it, and used to get a kick out of pumping water from the well. And she put it in a pitcher and in the refrigerator. And then we come to find out that she was stinking rich. Well, my parents knew it, and grandparents. It's on my mother's side of the family, because she was part of the Bayer aspirin group of people that brought aspirin, because Henry Ford found it in Africa and found that this white powder took headaches away, and people in his factory, and this is back in the Model T Ford factory here in Detroit, it took away headaches, and it was a powder that was coming naturally on trees. So he harvested it and brought it here and put it in little packets and put it in the factory. So if you had a headache, you'd take a headache powder. Well, it was the relative of in my family that took that, and because they couldn't take the powder because there'd be humidity and it would ruin it. Yeah. So they put it into a pill so they could have it that way. And that was my great uncle Bayer or something. I don't know how it happened. It was through marriage, but the family never changed her name later, or kept her last name. But so she had money and we didn't know it. At least I, as a kid, didn't know that. But the funny part about it is she could afford very expensive perfume, because she used to, when she was younger, between the wars, live in Paris, between 1 and 2. And she loved good, expensive perfume. And it was like $100 an ounce, we were told as kids. And she lived about 25 miles away where I did at the time, in Detroit. And one night, she had this rocker that was in our room that was hers, and she used to rock my brother as a baby, and when I was a baby, and my mother when she was a baby. That was a family heirloom, an old antique rocker, and it was in our bedroom. I only tell you this because the punchline is, the night she died, and it was in a horrific storm, electric storm, knocked out the power. But we could smell her perfume in my bedroom, my brother and I's bedroom, where on the dresser that was on the corner, and the rocker had a cover on it that she'd hand made, and it was drenching wet with her perfume. We didn't have any at the house. It was too expensive, but we come to find out during the night she had passed away. And all of a sudden the rocker started rocking, and I thought the house got hit with lightning because big flash of light and everything, and woke myself and brother up.
Yep.
And the rocker is rocking, and here the perfume smell in our room was strong, and we went and got our parents up, and they come back, and we got yelled at for how did we hide the perfume? You know, you can't touch Aunt Betty's perfume. And we didn't have any. It was too expensive, but yet that's all we could smell. It was so bad they had to take the carpet out of the room and have it cleaned to get
Wow.
her smell of her perfume out of. But that's when she died. Now, I don't know how else you explain it. Science can't. I was there and I saw it, and my family did too. They even got out the old movie camera and took pictures of it, 8mm, and just didn't believe it. She passed away, and her rocker that had been hers, that had been passed down, was busy rocking. And of course, it can be explained because of the clash of thunder, and it vibrated the house, and yeah, but not the smell.
No,
And it was in the rug.
She was rocking that chair.
Yeah, and when we took it to have it dry cleaned, my parents were saying, the man said, "This is expensive perfume."
Yep.
No, it's just out of the kid's bedroom, and it appeared there. And even to this day, it's been handed down through us, and I don't have it, but it's gone through the women in our family. You can get down to it and sniff that corner, and you can still smell a scent of it in there.
She's still.
And I can't explain it. I don't know. I can't answer it.
It's pretty cool when that stuff happens, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, in combat, I've seen people who you'd swear were busy shooting over there, and you see people being hit by bullets from over there, but when you go to find out and run over to make sure they're all right, and you find that they don't have an arm, or they're missing a head, and how could they be shooting to protect the unit that got to move across the field? No answer.
Yes.
But that's something a lot of people that's been in combat have had those experiences.
Spooky.
Yeah. I was 7th Air Force. Oh, I was in maintenance, 4C, RF 4C maintenance, but that's what I was trained in the photography side, but I ended up doing electronic stuff.
Yep.
Prepare the broadcast.
Oh, yeah.
Well, there, morning. How's the weather in your shed today?
How you going, Ian? It is 105. That's in the shed, so it's a bit hotter out there.
If that was the temperature here, my shirt would be soaking wet. We'd be guzzling liquids.
I've got an industrial fan blowing behind me.
Ah. So the backside of you is staying cool.
Yeah, definitely.
They made a movie about Cool Hand Luke, but you're Cool Hand or Cool Butt Jay. Freezing, where's here?
Sorry?
Oh, Ian was saying it's freezing there. 4 a.m. The only thing I can think of is either a lot farther south than you are, but it's, no, it wouldn't be. Oh, Newcastle. Yes,
Yeah.
northern UK. Are you
At 4
using
o'clock,
the,
at 4 o'clock in the morning here today, it was 25.
a cat woke him up. And cats are supposed to be psychic, so maybe that's why the cat woke him up due to our conversation about specters.
Yeah, I've got 2 cats and they're often staring at something that we can't see.
You want the light out? Alexa, turn the living room light out.
Can Alexa be funny or is she just serious all the time?
Whatever you want to have her do. You can define the personality.
My Google, I tell my Google, do you fart? And it farts. And then it tells a fart joke.
The interesting thing is with both of them, and you can write your own software. They give you the template to make it say or do anything.
Oh, okay. No, I'm not that good with computers.
Oh, it's really simple.
Hey. Well, I can smell the rain. It's coming.
You fellas feel or smell the freshness of the air,
The
lack
iron,
of pollution. Oh, the ions. So it's an electric storm.
Always smells like that here when it's hot and it's going to rain.
I've got relatives outside of Newcastle, but I have no idea who they are or whatever. All I know is their name's Elliot. Have a good night.
Thanks for coming in, Ian.
put it back. You're going to part that off, or are you going to continue your...
I'm just going to try and get as thin as I can without it falling apart on me, and then I'll cut it with a saw or something.
You know, when I look at that sideways, it makes me think of a high voltage insulator on your power lines.
Yep, just needs another couple of rings.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, a couple more, and then the lightning arrestor at the top.
Yes.
Well, you have an electric railway going in, and they probably use standoffs like that. The bell standoff from their cable.
Yes. This is basically a carving chisel. I put a little bit of an edge on it so I could get into the tighter spots.
I like that. The kid here, the 13-year-old, just keeps bringing me things to plug into my charger. Tablet and now a phone. He plug in his own. But we got gaming this weekend. They've got their friends in, and all of a sudden I found I had a couple more Xboxes on our network and a couple of big screen TVs.
Yep.
So I find they bring their own TVs because that's the terminal of choice for gaming now, because of the high resolution and the low price of the big TVs.
In the old days, when you lug a computer around, I used to lug a computer around, and the old school monitors, lug one of those around to someone's house, and they got it made these days.
Yeah, I still like the computer in a good case, a gaming system, where you got the fans for them in there cooling the
Yes.
processor and the video card down, and a ton of memory and a fast CPU. I've even got water cooling on the one I built for them here for the CPU.
I haven't got water cooling. I've just got my gaming machine's just got a box. It's got a couple of 4 or 5 fans inside of it, but when it gets too hot upstairs, I got a box fan that I push right up against it.
Yeah.
A little bit of assistance.
Well, do all your fans blow in or out?
Two blow in, and 3 blow out, I think. Yeah, I've got
because
one that blows out the front, one that blows out right up the top near the CPU, and one that blows out down near the power supply. And then the two that blow in there on the side.
Yeah, you gotta. People, for some reason, have them all blow one way, and that's so bad.
Yeah, that's silly.
I remember my first computer. I built it, and it was vacuum tubes.
Oh, not trying to be mean or anything, but you're showing your age by saying that.
Yeah, well, I am old. And if you ask Brendan here, I'm ancient, but he's 13.
The cheeky buggers.
Yeah, I'm 75.
The only thing that I've got with tubes in it is a radio that I got from my nana, an old radio. Whew, don't do that, hey.
Maybe you need some more light over your turning.
Yeah, I've got my light in the wrong spot at the moment. Got right above this, not even maybe an inch away is my monitor stand that I've bolted to my shed wall, yeah. And then just off to the side of that, just over there a little bit, but up on the roof is my I've got a LED floodlight.
Uh-huh.
Don't make it any brighter.
Well, it's not me and your audience. It's for your safety.
Oh, no, it's fine for me.
You can see where the cut is when you're up against a surface like that.
Yep.
Somehow I think the weather says it's going to rain. My phone just appeared in the top notice bar, 3 umbrellas. I wonder.
That's a pretty good song.
The kid took all my chargers. I've got to pull out my little charging unit. I like these. The little bricks.
The battery bank.
Yeah.
I've never tried
USB-C. So it charges it. My phone will handle it and monitor the charging speed, and also it charges real quick.
Yep.
And if I put it in the freezer, it charges quicker.
This is not getting hot.
Right. That's the thing. Because it monitors the battery by its heat. So if you take the heat away, it charges quicker.
Yep. Now I've heard that before. Well, my mum used to keep AA batteries in the fridge.
Yes, that works. Until you come in drunk or stoned and think it's a sausage.
That's a hard sausage.
Yeah. Not bad. The temperature outside.
You guys will be coming up for winter soon, eh?
Yes, we've already had snow,
Okay.
but it was gone by 9:30 in the morning when the sun came up.
Yeah. So it's still reasonably warm.
Yeah.
How you going, Zed? Can't hear you.
That's good. My phone's 80% dead and it'll be fully charged in 50
How's that? Can you hear me
minutes.
now?
Yes.
Yes.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, what's going on?
It's all happening. Bit warm here, mate. What's it like up there?
Muggy is crazy. It's one of those days where it's raining up in the clouds, 10,000 feet up, but it's not coming down to us.
Not hitting the ground, yeah.
I know. I checked the weather, the temperature online, and it said it's only 20 or 30% humidity. But I think they're lying.
Quite possible.
I think they need to come here.
Yeah, bloody hell.
Yeah, but wearing black doesn't help, does it?
In the shed,
Well,
it doesn't matter so much.
No, when you get out in the-
Theoretically, Dr. Bob, you're right. Black absorbs heat and lighter colours reflect it.
Yep.
I thought being my white skin might have helped made up for that, But, all right.
No,
You got to wear that on the outside of the black shirt, though, Jay.
Oh, yeah, all right. Hang on.
Yeah, just slip it off and put it outside the shirt.
I don't think people want nightmares. So do you like the colours, Sid?
Yeah, what'd you do them with?
Sharpies.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, same as I
Sharpies.
do my tops.
And then clear lacquer.
Okay.
So I cut this with my blunt saw, and then I'm not going to go too crazy and chop it off, you see?
Yeah.
if it's not a dollar store saw, you ought to look at getting a little saw sharpening kit, and then while you watch the telly, you can sit and sharpen your saw.
So that feels like I'm getting my eye poked out every time you come in.
Yeah,
Oh, it's perfect, isn't it?
that is odd. Watching the hole become elongated.
Yeah.
It's a saw that a labourer left behind one time.
But the frame rate of the camera makes the hole elongated. When you stop, it isn't.
That's not fair. I mean, I can't see it. How rude.
No, you can't see it if you look at the screen.
If you look at the screen, you'll cut your fingers off.
Yeah. I'll take my fingers not even looking at the screen.
I thought you might have had a go at parting it off with the skew with a couple of V-cuts, Joe.
Oh, you bloody start.
Yeah, Robo had to jump out quick because he realized his debut on this turnathon is a day earlier than he thought.
It was 12 hours out, yes.
Bloody whacker.
Yeah.
That would have been funny.
I think when they lay them out, we still got to do it on basically a spreadsheet that shows timelines.
Yeah.
That's all right. We'll have the guidance of a professional tonight, Joe, so that'll be good.
Yeah, he needs to stay in the background and be quiet, or Sorry, Mark. Not really, but gotta cover my bases, you know.
Ow.
Don't be like that, alright? It's not on.
Bloody Amy's sitting there digging her claws into me.
Yeah.
I take it that's a pet cat or a super girl from Marvel Comics.
Yeah, no, I've got a little tortoiseshell named Amy that seems to have adopted me.
A cat.
A cat, indeed.
Puss. Why would you want to go outside when you can get pets all day?
Well, exactly. The other one's like royalty. She just sits over in the other chair gazing around like the queen.
Goes like this when you walk past.
Yeah, the royal wave, that's the one.
Yeah.
How's your day been?
Yeah, been running around getting water going and feeding animals and had a little play on the lathe for a little while. I'd get Robbo to have a look at my lathe last night. I'd sent him a couple of videos. I've got a little bit of movement in the head of my little one. But from what we can work out, it's the thread being slightly out of a line on the headstock as opposed to anything else.
Oh. So you
It's not
need
much. It's
another
less than
bolt
half a
and-
mil.
where they tap the hole wrong?
That's the thread that the chuck screws onto.
Oh, okay. The spindle.
Yeah, the thread on the spindle. So there's no movement at all with a spur drive in, but there is when you put a chuck in. So that's what I'd noticed it with the chuck, and I thought, oh shit, is something bent? But we put the spur drive in, and there's none, so it's not bent. It's just the thread's slightly offline.
Well, there could be another example, another problem, but because I've had it happen, and it was the insert in the chuck, the adapter to make it fit your spindle, either didn't seat correctly or it's it's slightly out of alignment.
Yeah, I tried 2 different chucks to eliminate that.
Oh, okay.
And the same chuck on my other lathe is fine. So the process of elimination allowed me to take it down to it being. So I've got a MIDI lathe which is the one that's got the wobble in it, and I've got a 900mm sort of full size lathe, Carvatech one, and if I put the chuck on that, it's fine.
Uh-huh.
Put either of 2 chucks on the MIDI lathe, and they both have that little bit of movement in them. I was concerned it was a bearing or a bent shaft, but the movement's wrong. So that's why I videoed it and sent it to Robbo. And then we had a bit of a chat on the phone last night, and it'll only be a problem if I have to take a bowl out and remount it.
Ah, yeah.
So I said, oh, that's the easy fix. I normally only turn bowls on the other lathe anyway. But I picked it up because I was turning some tops. And normally when I turn tops, I have a chunk of wood that lets me take, it's 200mm long, and it lets me, or 8 inches, and it lets me make 3 tops out of one piece.
Yeah.
So I support it with a tailstock while I get the first top nearly finished. And then when I've got the handle, the spinning handle of the top down to about 1/2 inch, I take the tailstock away and finish off the point on the bottom, and then I take the handle down to about 1/4 inch. And when I did that, it was exacerbating that little bit of movement of the truck because of the length of the spindle was accelerated or exacerbated.
Oh yeah.
And it's the first time I've noticed it. So
Well, there's another possible way of.
that looks all right, Jay.
Yeah, he
Got a nice
really
bit of
did
shine on it.
Good.
So is that, what did you say you put on that? Was it poly? Or was that your shine juice?
No, Polly.
Poly, yep. Oh yeah, I got some of that in the shed. Mother-in-law uses it over the top of her canvases once she's finished them to seal them too. It's,
Yep. No, it's if it's a coldish day when you do it, just put it in some warm water and it sprays out nice. Yeah.
The old Sharpies work quite well, really.
Yeah, they do. You just got to make sure that when you're going along the piece of wood, you got to roll the Sharpie like that as you're going along. Otherwise, it dries out within seconds.
Yeah, I found that doing the tops. You roll it as you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I tried to do a spiral effect on a piece the other day, and it's like, yeah, right.
You can, but you got to slow the lathe right down.
Yeah, that doesn't help me if I've got it on the lowest speed and it doesn't work.
Yeah, true.
I wonder, I was just thinking, I've had that happen on a mini lathe, the small ones, because I've had a couple. I've got one left, but they're the ones I loan out, and that's what we're putting in the VA hospitals here, the veterans hospitals. So,
yep.
And the retirement centers and stuff like that. We've been doing that. Nothing like a bunch of old angry vets fighting over a lathe.
That's what I'm using, a mini lathe, Dr. Bob.
Well, no, that's a full-size lathe. A mini lathe, you can pick it up and carry it. The bed's about 14 inches.
That's micro.
We call them minis. But the thing is that I've had a spindle problem like that, but it wasn't the spindle. Well, it was, but when they turn the spindle, the threads where they have, I don't know what you call it, the face, where the threads end.
Yep.
There was a problem, and it wouldn't fit tight up against the spindle itself because the way, I don't know, it just screwed up slightly on the pitch, but it's still, you could spin a chuck on. But the problem I had it fixed, and it was the lathe manufacturer that gave them to me with spindle washer, the nylon ones, now they're plastic,
yep.
High temperature plastic, and that fixed it because it compressed enough so as the wobble didn't show. It was very minimal.
Yeah, well, that's Robbo's suggestion. One of the things was to take the spindle out and get the thread cut a bit looser, so that instead of the chuck tightening up against the thread, it'd seat against the back of the spindle on the face better. So, so there was a little bit of movement in the thread, so it'd seat on the face and move away from the way the thread was holding it, sort of thing.
Yeah. But that's expensive, and finding a machinist and match it and all.
Well, that's the whole deal. Is like, for the price of the lathe, I'm probably better off to just persevere with it. And although I did consider just buying another spindle and bearing and trying that.
No,
So
just
depending on how much they cost.
find a spindle washer. I don't know what, they're not plastic anymore, but they look like a white plastic, but
Yeah.
I wish I could transport them. I've got a pack of them. I bought them. It was cheaper that way online to buy them, and I give them out at the club, and all the lathes at the club have them. Because it also allows you to take a chuck off easier because you can't tighten it really tight up against the threads and lock the spindle to the chuck.
Yeah.
Especially, with a bigger lathe, that can happen. But with a little lathe, it often, because of the belt tension, you get a serious problem with a catch, and it stops the spindle, and you've got it chuck going. That puts it on there tight enough so you need a blowtorch to heat the metal to take them off. Like it just screws it on there. And this keeps that from happening.
Yeah, I haven't had that yet, but how you going with getting your chuck on and off, Jay?
Yeah, right.
So a little spanner makes a difference.
Yeah, that's much easier than the bolt and the pliers and stuff. That's for sure.
Yeah. So if I'd realised I still had that when I came up the first time, I would have brought it up with me then.
I thought you were just trying to make it difficult for me.
But just creating a challenge. That's what I was doing. That's right.
Yeah. That's what Robbo would have said. Yes, I was.
You didn't have a spindle lock?
No,
they don't. No.
No. Trust me to buy the only lathe that doesn't have a spindle lock.
Well, it's odd that people design stuff they'd never use, and that's just wrong.
Well, these are essentially a generic lathe that are sold under a heap of different badges.
Yeah.
Made out of China.
I don't think, I know what you're talking about. I don't think we got them here. We're liable to, but I've never seen them.
They're
in Canada.
Yeah, a lot of them are like Jet copies.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I have the original Jet.
I think the people that made this one, or they've got their name on it at least, they're originally a Canadian company, I think. Carbotech, aren't they?
No, it's a distributor there.
So the bigger lathe that I've got's a Carbotech.
Yeah, my big one's Powermatic. They've been around quite a while as being the professional lathe, because the one bigger than mine has a capability of having a 5-horse engine on it, and I think some people have had up to 5 bed extensions to it.
Yep.
And it's all cast iron. When I have it on a concrete floor, and if it's not balanced, I can feel the floor vibrate. That's how I know it's out of balance. Got to adjust the feet again. I've only got a 3-horse on it.
Alright, I'm going to knock this on the head now.
All right, mate. I'll talk to you later on tonight anyway, I dare say.
Yep. Thanks for coming in, Dr. Bob.
Yep. Look forward to.
Right. See you, Dr. Bob.
Yep.
Take care.
You too. Take care. Yep. Good night now.
See you later.
See ya.